The word of the Lord is against you, and O Canaan, the land of the Philistines, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds, and folds for flocks, and the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon in the houses of Ashkelon. Shall they lie down in the evening, for the Lord their God shall visit them and turn away their captivity.
We don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go.
All right, brothers and sisters, welcome back once again to The Last Dispensation. I'm your host, Troy, and this is another one for the Vocal Vortex. This just came in, about 19 minutes ago. I just saw something Trump is talking about, that the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. Let's listen to this.
They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Okay, so what does this mean for, in the gospel of Jesus Christ? What does this mean? Joseph Smith discussed the rebuilding of Jerusalem and the construction of a temple. There's part of a prophetic event leading up to the second coming of Jesus Christ that might be elemental here, brothers and sisters. First of all, rebuilding Jerusalem. Joseph Smith emphasized that Jerusalem must be rebuilt and the temple constructed there before the second coming of Jesus Christ. That's documented in his teachings and writings, such as in the history of the church, where he mentions that Judah must return, and they already have, and Jerusalem must be rebuilt and the temple before Christ's return. Now, the role of the Jewish people. Joseph Smith believed that the Jewish people would play a significant role there, and they're doing it right now. In Zephaniah chapter 2, verses 4 through 7, it says, let me read the King James Version here. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, and O Canaan, the land of the Philistines, I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds, and folds for flocks, and the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon in the houses of Ashkelon. Shall they lie down in the evening, for the Lord their God shall visit them and turn away their captivity. Something about Gaza's fate. And some Jews believe this, okay? Foresees a time when Gaza will be abandoned and desolate, kind of like what might be happening now. This prophecy is often linked to a broader context of the day of the Lord, a period of judgment and restoration. Zechariah chapter 9, verse 5 also predicts that the king will perish from Gaza, indicating a significant change in leadership or control. Zechariah chapter 9, verse 5. Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful. and Ekron, for her expectation shall be ashamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited. Once again, a significant change in leadership or control. The Bible mentions Gaza as part of the land occupied by the Philistines, who were enemies of Israel. Now, the Palestinians call themselves Palestinians, which kind of relates to the Philistines. Kind of an interesting tie there. Prophecies like those in Amos and Zephaniah speak of judgment coming upon Gaza due to its wickedness, all right before the second coming. Even though there's no prophecy about the United States taking over Gaza, instead prophecies focus on Israel's relationship with Gaza and the broader region. But some prophecies like Psalm 83 speak of a future conflict involving nations that include the Philistines, or what we'd call today the Palestinians. They've nicknamed themselves that, but which Gaza is associated with. These do not mention the United States directly, but the regathering of Israel and the restoration of Jerusalem are central themes, brothers and sisters, central themes here in many end-time prophecies, but they do not specifically involve the United States controlling Gaza. But it's very interesting, isn't it? And we know that our apostles in the past have emphasized the importance of gathering of Israel, which includes the Jewish people. Read Ezekiel 36 through 37. Middle East prophecies. The broader region of the Middle East is often discussed in terms of its role in end times prophecies. For example, prophecies about Jerusalem and the nations gathering against it. But this almost has to take place. The rebuilding of Jerusalem, diplomacy. It's part of the gathering of Israel. Netanyahu today mentioned he was at the White House meeting with Trump, and they were talking about removing the Palestinian people from Gaza and relocating them and giving them their own land so they could be a nation. But they're not going to be satisfied with that. They're going to want Israel no matter what. So there's still going to be some problems here. But we're talking here, brothers and sisters, about the Palestinians or the Philistines. If you look at it like that, the Philistines being exiled, the prophecy linked to a broader context of the day of the Lord with the Jews talking about a period of judgment and restoration, and predicts that the kings will perish from Gaza. Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Now, there are key events that have to occur before the Battle of Armageddon begins. Not have to, but I would think from prophecies that I've read that if anything is maybe a for sure thing, it would be this. Because according to prophetic teaching, several key events have to occur before the Battle of Armageddon. One of them is this that's taking place. They've already gathered to Israel, rebuilding and rehabilitation of all of Israel. Because the land of Israel is being rebuilt right now. It's being rehabilitated. It has been the last 70 years by the covenant people. You read about that in Ezekiel 36, 10 through 12. Ezekiel 36, 33 through 36 describes the process, highlighting the restoration. And the Jews believe in this prophecy taking place right now in Gaza. And I just read you those scriptures, indicating a period of peace and abundance before a final conflict. There has to be peace. This might bring the peace. This might bring a transformation that's foretold in Ezekiel. This might be somewhat of a unification of Israel, because there will be one nation in the land of Israel again someday, as prophesied in Ezekiel 37. This is a unification, and it's seen as a precursor to the events up to Armageddon. I really believe that if this takes place with Trump, this is definitely, my friends, listen to me, definitely a precursor to the events leading up to Armageddon. Because a global gathering against Jerusalem it's going to happen. And there's no compromise there. There's too many scriptures. Zechariah 14:2-3 describes a scenario. And even in Daniel, but let's just take Zechariah, because some of the Jews like to use this scripture, where all nations will gather against Jerusalem, leading to a significant battle. Closely tied to the Battle of Armageddon, this event that we're seeing take place, a precursor, and it's seen as, I would say, a very pivotal moment before Christ returned.